Hello there guys, it's CoolFox over here, and today I'm bringing you an unboxing and review of the Blackview A7 smartphone.
Hey, does anybody want to join?
Before we begin, I would really appreciate it if you can subscribe, as we are trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Starting with the unboxing, you can see the specs listed at the back, and opening the box you can see the phone on the front with a silicone cover. Under that you have a little divider, and then you will find the manual, the charging cable and charging plug. The charging cable is a normal micro USB, and the charging plug is a nice traveling charger, since it can become smaller by retracting the third plastic prong. The phone itself comes with a screen protector on the front, and they throw in a free silicone case, as I said before. The back has a very nice texture on it. It has very small ridges which improve the grip a bit more than smooth surfaces, and on the bottom you find the micro USB port. On the right side you find the volume rocker and the power on off button. On the top you find a headphone jack, and the left side is left empty. On the back you find the dual camera, which we will talk about later on in the video, and the speaker at the bottom. On the front you find 3 capacitive touch buttons and the front facing camera along with the speaker unit. Popping off the back you find a detachable battery, which comes with a small tab which you have to pull out before turning the phone on, and a dual SIM slot alongside a micro SD card slot. The setup is just like any other smartphone. You have the default Android languages to choose from, and after putting in your email address, Wi-Fi password and a security feature, you are all set up. The UI itself is very similar to stock Android, except for the drop down menu, which has a skin on it which is commonly seen on other Blackview devices. It is pretty snappy for the most part, and the surprising thing is that the phone comes equipped with Android 7.0 out of the box. It also came with an update once I switched on the phone, which is very good to see. Battery life is actually very good. For a 2800 mAh battery, it easily stays on the whole day, which is great to see at this price. Going through the settings, you can also see that there is a skin applied, but other than that, most items found in the settings are as default. Something strange that I did encounter though is the fact that the storage was first listed as 4.26 GB, and after pressing the storage icon and going back it showed exactly 8 GB. This was very strange, as I have never seen anything like it before. Once I connected it to my PC, it showed it had 8 GB of storage, but I am still not sure which to believe. The memory is listed at 893 MB, which is just as advertised. You have bundled in gestured unlock, which isn't present usually on default Android, one-handed mode, which is also not usually present on default Android, and everything else is default. Now moving on to Antutu, you can see the specifications listed. It has Android 7.0 as said before, the MTK 6580, which is a budget MediaTek CPU, the Mali 400MP GPU, a 720p screen, a 5.3 megapixel back camera, and a 1.9 megapixel front facing camera. After the test was done, it scored a total of 23,599, which is mediocre, but considering the price, it is pretty much acceptable. I also tested Geekbench 4 and it scored a measly 399 on the single score and a 1118 on the multi-core. This is a pretty bad result, but as I said before, you cannot expect big things from a budget smartphone. Taking a look at the sensors present on this phone, you can see that most sensors are disabled. This was pretty confusing, considering that even the gyroscope and orientation sensor are disabled, which means that you cannot use maps on this phone. The accelerometer and sound sensors were the only ones that worked correctly, and even the light and proximity sensors weren't acting normally. After seeing that the gyroscope and orientation sensors were disabled, I ran GPS test and it yielded a great result. The only thing which was very strange was that the orientation wasn't picked up, and so the great pinpoint accuracy was all for nothing, since you cannot use maps with this phone. Doing a quick video test shows you that the phone cannot handle 60 frames per second video. This is also very disappointing to see, although this is commonly seen in MediaTek chips. The speaker is pretty tinny, although it does exceed my daily driver, which is a Ruby Plus, which costs around $150.
Before we begin, I would really appreciate it if you can subscribe, as we are working towards 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Starting with the unboxing, you get 2 sets of wheels, a GoPro mount, the slider.
Moving on to a Wi-Fi speed test, everything is as expected and the speeds are as they are supposed to be. Opening up an application such as Alto's Adventure, which is a game, does take quite a bit of time to load up, and I also saw a bit of artifacting before the game itself started. Other than that, gameplay was smooth, and this would handle light games such as this one. Now moving on to the camera, you can tell from the pictures that the quality isn't really that good, and although they did advertise a dual camera, I believe that the second camera is fake. From this close-up shot you can easily tell that it looks very different to the main camera and that something is not right. Once I covered up the second camera itself, the 2x zoom made no difference, which easily shows that the phone only uses one camera or has only one camera. The blur mode, as you can see here, is very bad, and the phone should utilize both cameras to detect what is in the front and what is in the back. That is why the blur ended up happening to everything except the focus point. Mono mode works well and just as expected, and the 2x zoom is, as I said before, done with one camera. The front camera is nothing to run home about, and the back camera in terms of video quality is also nothing special. The microphone though is actually pretty good. This is a quick test of the Blackview A7 microphone. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. This was CoolFox and I'm out. Peace.